Welcome Joy Reed Bell, owner of JRB Art at the Elms in the Paseo district, to Parties Extra. I'm Helen Ford Wallace, and we are at the Oklahoman's video studio in downtown Oklahoma City. Hi, Joy.
Hi, how are you today?
It's time for First Friday.
It is. Today is First Friday.
Today?
And it'll be tonight from 6 to 10. And all the galleries in Paseo will have special exhibitions. And we've been really busy at JRB Art at the Elms, and we've got 4 different artists we're featuring tonight.
So what wonderful artists do you have?
Well, we have Beth Hammock.
I mean, always
and
wonderful.
She's a favorite. And we always have her in May. And she's done a wonderful body of work, and she's so well known for her abstracts. But we have 3 paintings that have figures in them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So she's branching
out. Branching out. And then we have Kathy Rogers.
Whom I love.
And some of her abstracts, which are just really special. And they show really well. And Gail Singer's ceramic sculptures. And they are huge. And most of the work we've had from Gail in the past have been functional ceramics.
But like
tall
huge
vases,
what? Like
sculptural.
Like
looking.
Big.
And she did this wonderful, sinuous, functional sculpture, you know, bowls, vases, and that kind of thing for years, because she was head of ceramics at the University of Central Oklahoma, and that's what she could get done in her own time. But she recently retired, and she and her husband built a huge studio in their home, and now she has time to do these very complex, large pieces. And it's colorful, and it's just so unusual. It's a wonderful exhibit. And then we have
jewelry. Jewelry.
Jewelry. And one of my new friends is Betty Travacchia, who's the new head of the Visual Arts College at OU. And her sister teaches math and statistics at Swarthmore in Pennsylvania, but also makes jewelry. And
jewelry and math.
Jewelry and math. And she said that they're both an expression of abstract ideas that are brought into a different language. And mathematics has its own language, and art has its own language, and it expresses itself through paintings and jewelry and sculpture. And so she has created, I think we have like 39 pieces. And
they're beads?
They're made out of beads that she collects all over the world. And I have necklaces and a few earrings. But we have these 4 terrific artists. They're all very different from each other, and they will also be on view during the 42nd Paseo Arts Festival, which is Memorial Day weekend. Memorial Day weekend, and the show that we open with tonight will still be up.
Oh, well, that's good.
For Memorial Day weekend, which is, that festival is May 26th through the 28th.
And the gallery's open that whole time?
Yes, yes, we are.
Do you decorate for the
arts festival? Well, we do some, and we usually take some things outside and like that. But there will be 90 different visual artists at that festival from all over the country, and food booths and tents for children to create art. And it's just a very, very popular festival. And like I said, it's gone on now for 42 years. That's awesome.
Well, tell us a little bit more about First Friday. Are all the stores open? Do you have to be invited?
You don't have to be invited, and most of them have free beverage and some nibbles. And if it's an artist-owned gallery, in addition to having their work on display, which it is all the time, most of them have a guest artist that they bring in, you know, for First Friday. So there's always a lot to see. They're musicians, they're street performers.
So it's just
it's family friendly. It's family friendly.
Everybody comes.
And so everybody can come, and they can see every kind of art in the world there.
Well, how about this summer? What are you doing?
Well, this summer we've got the Prix West Brunch coming up. And that's in June. And the June's opening is on June the 1st, and the brunch is on June 10th. And that's free to the public. And this year we're doing a Best of the West show. And we're having a lot of our artists that we show all year long. We're curating and just choosing maybe 2 of each of those artists.
Oh, well, that's a good idea.
Yeah, because we think that they are the best in the West. I mean, we're currently scanning the landscape, looking at portfolios, looking at slides. And so we're going to have our artists all do something special for the month of June. And the paintings behind us, that's really just one painting expressing itself, 4 times? But that is done by Robert Peterson. And I'm bringing that up because of something else that's happening in Paseo. But Robert is creating some new work for us for our Prix de West brunch. But then also this painting behind me has been sold to the young man that's building a restaurant across the street from my gallery in that parking lot.
Is that going up? Is that going up?
It's going up right now, and it's called Frida's. And this portrait that you see behind me is Robert Peterson's portrait of Frida Kahlo.
Oh my!
Who was one of the most famous of the female artists in the world. And the name of that restaurant is going to be Frida's.
It is. And what are they going to have?
Well, they're going to have Southwestern food. It's the same young man and his group that own Picasso's. And so he's, he's done a great job with Picasso's. That's very popular. And that's male. And now he'll have a female restaurant called Frida's.
So when I come to the Prix de Brunch, I won't have anywhere to park. Is that what you're telling me?
No, there's still plenty of places to park. Paseo is still parking friendly. Yes, a lot of people did park over there. But it's still manageable and parking friendly.
Well, that party's really grown too.
That has. That have a lot of wonderful people come
and
to
you
that.
get some of the artists from the Prix de West.
Yes, they come.
And the writers,
and the writers, the magazine writers, and like the writers of Southwest Art, publisher. And those people come. It's great food.
And you have wonderful food.
It's great
and you have
food.
Usually a signature drink of some sort.
And I don't know what it's going to be this year.
But it'll be something.
It'll be something. We do have a signature drink. And the person that caters that for us is Ryan Parrott, who is with Picasso's. And so it's a wonderful brunch, and we'll have a lot of fun then. And that is from 10:30 to 1:30 p.m.
And it's nice of you to invite everybody, I think.
Yeah, well, it's great. We do 2 public brunches a year. We do New Year's Day, and then we do the Best of the West brunch.
Okay, and now so Paseo is really continuing to evolve. Besides Frida's, you have lots of new developments. You have Scratch, buttermilk biscuits. What else?
Well, like you said, there is Scratch and buttermilk biscuits. There is a new coffee shop in the Plunge.
What's it
called? Holy Rollers.
Oh, good.
And they have wonderful donuts, and a lot of them are baked, and a lot of them are gluten-free. And they have things like lemon and lavender donuts. I mean, they're great. It's just a surprise. They have breakfast tacos, I think, and some kind of an English muffin, but they're really known. For years they had a food truck called Holy Rollers. And they're keeping the food truck, but they also wanted to have a place where people could come and sit, and they have a wonderful patio, a very large patio. And so they're in the first floor of the Plunge, and we have a bookstore there called Literati.
My gosh, you have everything. You don't have to go out of the neighborhood.
No, you can do about anything.
And what is Red Rooster or something?
The Red Rooster Bar and Grill, that's the oldest continually operating bar and grill in Oklahoma. And in fact, we're changing the proprietors of that restaurant. The people that own Holy Rollers are going to take over the Red Rooster. So we have the Red Rooster, we have Paseo Grill, which is fine dining, Picasso's, Scratch, buttermilk biscuits, and then we'll have Frida's, and we have sauced, which is pizza and everything.
So that's,
yeah,
you just stay in the neighborhood.
Yes,
so,
it is.
Plus, you're still on various boards promoting the arts, I think.
Yes,
Last time
I
you
am.
were here, yeah. I mean, you had been to a meeting, I think, at OU. And,
Yes, yes. I'm on the president of the board of visitors for the Weisenhofer Colleges of Art at OU.
and that's a big job.
And well, and it's interesting. It's interesting. And then I've taken John's seat on the board at Harding Fine Arts.
And that's a great. You all have a good fundraiser every year
Yes.
for that, with the Joy Reid Belt and John Award.
And then I also enjoy doing a few things for the Summer Arts Institute at Quartz Mountain. I think it changes young people's lives.
I think it does too. I think you're
And
right.
and so I just think it's so important to have something intensive like that, where you bring the best of the best in the state together. I do. I do go.
That's wonderful. Plus, last time you were in here, you had just gotten a new dog. So how is Joy the dog working out?
Well, I had to kind of change her name.
Oh, you did?
Well, you know, one of the reasons I got her is my friend saw her at her vet. And there was a little poster and it said, "My name is Joy and I need to be adopted." So my friend calls and said, "This is God's will, you know, because this dog is named after you." Well, I'm out walking her in my neighborhood and I'm calling out, "No, Joy, come here, Joy." And the neighbors are just kind of looking at me very curiously. And so I thought, you know, I'm either going to have to explain this every day or I've got to think of something. And so I call her Joy Joy. And hope that sounds like a different name.
That's cute.
Because
Joy Joy's cute.
She was 3 when I adopted her, and she was used to her name. So I just do Joy Joy.
And she came at a time, I think you had your knee operated.
I was getting a knee replacement. And she has just brought so much happiness to my life. I didn't know I needed a dog, but I did.
That's awesome. Well, you know, we are always so appreciative of you sharing your images with us from your gallery, and this one is particularly fun to know about Frida.
And he bought this one, and then he bought almost a life-size portrait of Frida, you know, a few months ago, knowing that he was going to ultimately open this restaurant.
Well, when you change your gallery artwork and do you change it every room? I mean, you change everything?
We change every room every month.
Every room,
every month. Now, what I try to do, because a month is not a long time for an exhibition, it doesn't give people a lot of time to get there. So, like the artists from the main gallery or something, I'll pick some of their work and put it in a smaller gallery the next month. But I bring somebody else into the main rooms every month.
Your office in there looks like an art gallery in itself.
Well,
so tell me, I mean, do you have your favorite pieces in your office?
Well, I kind of do. I have art that I have a painting I bought in college. You know, that I paid out at, I don't know, $10 a month because I didn't have any money.
Is that your favorite?
Well, I love that painting. I don't know that it's necessarily my favorite. You haven't seen the latest 2 editions, which are, I had an artist named Nick Urza, and he was one of the first artists that I ever had, and he loved birds, and all of his paintings are either of birds or have birds in them, and he also built birdhouses. So I have 2 of his birdhouses. One's a cathedral, and one's a mosque.
In your office?
In my office, and they're like 6 and 7 feet high each. And he's dead now, and I had those, and they were packed up in plastic bags and boxes, you know, in our storage area. And so one of the men that works with me decided to put one together for me for my birthday, and then the other one together for me for Christmas.
Oh.
And so we put them in the gallery, and they're just magnificent. I love everything that's in there, but a lot of it is artists that I show, and that I exhibit, and that I'm interested in their careers. And my taste is very eclectic, just like the art, like the gallery. any gallery always, I think, reflects the eye of the owner or the manager. And I have always been very eclectic in my taste. And somehow it all works.
You have very good taste, Joy.
And somehow it's very different. Each piece is different from the other, but somehow it all works.
Well, do you have favorite artists, or are they all your favorites?
I don't have one favorite. I might, there are certain things that different artists do that maybe I'm attracted to. Like Ford Beckman, I like his targets. You know, another artist, I might like this or that of theirs, because you know, all artists are trying to do something different.
I remember when you had the teapots. Remember when you brought those teapots in?
And in fact, I brought teapots from all over the world.
They were fabulous.
And I think I had a teapot or two of the woman that's done these sculptural ceramics.
Oh,
she
really?
was in that show. And we just have different things and different styles. And the hardest thing an artist has to do is create an identity for themselves. You know, if you think of Wilson Hurley, you think of any artist you know, you can kind of walk in a place and wonder if it's not that artist. You know, you see something in somebody's house, is that a Mike Larson? You know, we might even ask them.
Right.
So that the hardest thing is for an artist to break out of the pack and get that something that's identifiable. But the second hardest thing for an artist to do is to keep expressing their identity without being trite. Because if they keep doing the same painting over and over, Twilight over the mountains 1,000 times, you'll get sick of them. And so I watch artists, and I watch how they, I mean, you and I both know Denise Duong, and you've seen how she's grown.
Oh my.
And how she's changed. But
amazing.
You can almost always go back and recognize the first little piece you got. Because she keeps her, nobody draws those women like she draws them.
She's just
but
amazing.
She's always doing something different.
Remember, I think I told you when we talked about her at Christmas that the one I saw that was so fascinating to me is when she was in the mountains of Colorado and the aspens were turning. Well, she put that in her picture. Yeah, you knew. You just knew exactly where it came from.
And then she went to Africa maybe a year or so ago, and she brought back something of Africa, and it looked like Africa, but it looked like her.
So they're all artists are individual like that.
Well, that's the goal. Some artists can't ever. Some people that start out trying to create art can never achieve that level. But that is their goal, is to create, I mean, most of the time you know a Picasso.
Right.
You know, most of the time you do. And so to get that yourself out there in an art form is just really, really difficult. It's like a writer sounding like themselves.
Joy, do you paint?
Un peu. I started out, in fact, John Bell gave me painting lessons in 1999 to relax. And I didn't understand why he did it, but I went to some classes and I painted and I enjoyed it, and really it started me on this journey of the gallery.
But you have such a vivid sense of
color.
But
I have recently, I have kind of picked it up again, and I'm starting out by drawing now, because that's so much easier. You don't have to take paints out and let them dry and then work on them. And so if your schedule is hectic, but you can always have a sketchbook and a pencil or some graphite with you, and you can draw in the airport. You know, it doesn't matter. So I am getting back into it, and there are things that I want to create, but I really appreciate artists, and I believe that they're the most courageous people in the world.
And you love their stories.
I love their stories. I love them.
Tell us about where you're located.
We're 2810 North Walker.
And your hours?
And we are open Sunday from 1 to 5. We're closed on Monday, and we've been doing that a couple of years. Closed on Mondays, and Tuesday through Saturday, 10 to 6. And there's never any charge for admission. If people ask me all the time, or they come in, they say, "Is there a jar or something?" And it's a commercial gallery, and it's open to the public, and we welcome them. We have artist talks. We have brown bag lunches where you can bring your own lunch and sit and talk about an artist, talk to an artist. We have different things going on all the time, so it's a good idea to check the website. And the website is jrbartgallery.com.
Perfect. Okay. Anything else about artists, about First Friday? About
well, they just got to come to First Friday tonight and come to First Friday in June and in July and in August and in September. They're all going to be good.
Oh, that's awesome. And to the festival.
And to the festival. They'll have fun at the festival.
Great. Okay. Well, we're so happy you came in, Joy.
Well, thank you for having me.
We love knowing about your upcoming exhibits and what is going on in the Paseo. Come back soon. Thank you.